What's up, folks? I was just taking a little nap right here next to my bike, and mosquito was starting to have their way with me, so I'm gonna get up and as I make this video. So bear with me as I try to express myself clearly. I just twist my hair by myself. That's why they look so crazy, but out here for a nice little walk in fresh air. So I figured I'd just make this video while I was thinking about that particular thing. Compliments. Compliments is something that we're all actually admire. Good. This guy here has been feeding squirrels here for over 2 decades. So every time they see him, like, they literally walk around him, run behind him, and he would just give them a nut, and they would go about their business, and they keep doing that nonstop. But anyway, I digress. So confident is something that most of us are actually, we really like when people give us confidence. That's just our natural respond to confident is that it makes us release some form of dopamine, unless it is a compliment that someone give you so often and so much that to the point where you become immune to it. It doesn't really do much to you. But overall, everyone likes to get compliments. Hell, we doing a lot of things nowadays to get compliments, even if those things are fake. But the compliments, the dopamine that we release when we get it, are real. So people are doing ridiculous things or going out of their way just to get someone to say, you look nice, you look good, you know, nice car, nice house, nice dress, nice shoes, so on and so forth. But there's a different aspect in confidence that we must take into account. A lot of time, like we know, naturally people are not really into the business of pointing out the goodness in you. There are very few people, I'm gonna tell you this, I'm gonna repeat this again. Naturally, people are not really into complimenting you, on complimenting the best aspect of you, or pointing out the beautiful traits that you have. They're likely to point out the faults. They're likely to point out your flaws to make you feel a little weak and perhaps less than they are, which is always almost a form of projection. So never fall for what people say about you, because the view you hold of yourself is always far greater than the view anyone else hold of you. So compliments, in essence, is something that people likewise would not be giving you unless they are giving you a compliment as a way to watch your reaction. Now, if you are an empath and all of these other so-called types that are out there that are sensitive, ESP, that are sensitive, that you can feel emotion, you're very empathic. Now you must really listen to this, because what happened is people will give you a compliment, not really because they want to give you a compliment, because they know the compliment is going to make you feel good. They can care less about that, because nobody cares if you feel good or not. People are in the business of looking out for themselves, so believe me. Most people have ulterior motives, and that include your families, your close friends. They all have ulterior motives. They're not just your friend because they just like the fact that you're a nice human. They're your friend because there's something that they actually favor in you that probably perhaps doesn't exist in them. So they give you compliment as a way to watch your reaction. So then they get your reaction from the compliment that they give you. Then they learn and study you more and more and more to see what effect does that compliment has on you. And once they have completed their studies of you and paying attention to your response on those compliments, they either going to amplify it, get closer to you, and then they will use those compliments they will use those thing against you. You see, they will. How would you probably ask me? You want to know how would they use it against you? Well, the thing is, people want to have leverage over others, and if they can use your weakness and those compliments that they give you, then it kind of makes you become vulnerable to some degree, because then they can use that as a way to gain leverage. It's kind of like the experiment with the rats that salivate when the bell ring, and so on. I don't remember the whole story, but this is what I'm trying to talk about here. So once people realize that those compliments have an effect on you, they will use it, and then they're gonna try the opposite and see what kind of effect the opposite have on you. And then once they have those things in order, then they will proceed on using it as a way to get at you. Now, you may have a compliment of being a great listener. You may have a compliment of being empathic. Now, you may have compliments of having a nice smile, being cool, being nice, being pleasant. But I'll tell you one thing, right? When I was much younger, there was a girl that I used to work around. She was much older than me. She was not my type, was not attractive. I was not attracted to her whatsoever. But she did say something that stuck with me. She said, whenever I'm smiling, I seem nice and attractive, and when I'm not smiling, she said, you look mean and very old and grumpy. And I took that to the heart. When she said that, I must have been like probably, I don't know, maybe 15, 16. When she said that, I took it to the heart, and then I started smiling. Well, I was always smiling for the most part, but I remember whenever I'm not smiling, which is typically when I fall into my headspace, I'm kind of like very dazed out and look extremely unapproachable. So I took that to my head, and I kind of kept it in my head and remembered to smile all the time, so that I can signal to people that I'm receptive to human connection or interaction. And I started doing that, and I realized most people actually enjoy that. Not only they enjoy it, they would tell me that as a compliment, but then use it against me as a way to come and dump their problem on me, as a way to come in and kind of force me to, well, not force me, but kind of pin me against the wall to listen to their sob story, to listen to their rhetoric, sad story about how messed up the world is and how fucked up their lives are because they failed to take responsibility. But more often than not, they meet the blatant, honest truth, and a lot of time it's not pleasant. So the idea is of me renting off, as I like to summarize it, is that you gotta watch people who give you compliments. I don't know if I ever finished the point I was making, but I'll try to get to it. You gotta watch the people that give you a compliment. They're not giving you a compliment because they really, actually like you and think you're a wonderful person. They're actually giving you a compliment as a way to gain close to you, so they can get leverage, so they can gain leverage over you. Then they could use those compliments against you. They can use it as a way to control you, to control what they want you to think, how they want you to feel. They know if they give you those compliments, you're going to release some dopamine and you're going to feel happy. Then they know if they don't give you those compliments, the opposite happens. So then if you become bound to those compliments, then you become slave to their opinion. This is why I said the opinion you hold of yourself is far greater than the opinion others have of you. Obviously, I'm not the one who said that. There's someone who have said that before me. I'm just repeating it. But the whole idea is that when people are giving you compliments, pay attention so that those compliments that they're giving you are not in a way for them to actually use them against you later on in life as they get closer to you, just to gain leverage. Yeah, so be mindful of that, and don't just go crazy when people give you compliments, because it means nothing if you don't believe in yourself. And if you don't believe in yourself, you'll always look for people to give you compliments, and those people who then realize and notice that you are always constantly looking for compliments from them, so you can, as a form of acknowledgement or validation, then you will become slave to them. Then they will use it and have leverage over you. So don't fall for compliments. And even when people do give you compliments, be careful and always try to understand from what point of you those compliments are coming from. Is it coming from a point of for them to gain leverage, or as a way for them to use it against you? Anyways, I'm losing my trains of thought here, but you get my drift. Okay, so yeah, cheers.